I would like to apologize in advance for telling you a horrible story. But this horrible story must be told. It must be told so it never happens to me again. And hopefully me telling this story will also prevent this from being done to other people. The oral surgeon that extracted my tooth has replaced my codeine with codeine. That sounds like kind of an odd statement to make, but let me explain in more detail exactly what happened. So when I took an airplane to Los Angeles from Humboldt County, California, to go to an oral surgeon, I had called them and made an appointment and asked for an appointment to have a tooth extracted. When I got to the appointment, the dentist had me fill out some forms. The oral surgeon, he actually informed me he was not a dentist, but an oral surgeon. But the oral surgeon, who's technically a specialist dentist, had me fill out some forms, and then he examined my tooth, and then I asked him if he was going to extract it today, and then he said, "Oh no, we're going to have to make you an appointment to extract it. This is only a consultation." At that point, he said they had an appointment on Thursday. I said that I probably wanted that appointment, and I would call them to confirm that I wanted that appointment. When I called them to confirm that I wanted that appointment, I was informed that that appointment had already been taken, and I would have to wait until Saturday to have my tooth extracted. Between then and Saturday, I actually did go to another dentist and have my tooth examined, and that dentist also confirmed that it needed to be extracted, or so she said. I was informed that the tooth was rotted down to the root by both the Beret Dental Center in Eureka, California, and Western Dental in Los Angeles, and both dentists told me it needed to be extracted. So at that point, I was pretty sure it needed to be extracted. So I confirmed my appointment to have it extracted by the oral surgeon, and let me backtrack a little bit, though. When I went to that consultation, they had me fill out many forms about my medical history, and there was one specific form that I filled out that I want to talk about. That form was like a list of commonly used medications and some dental materials like certain metals, and they wanted you to check off if you had previous allergic reactions to these medications or materials, and they gave you a little space to write in a description explaining what happened when you had previous allergic reactions or why you were checking off the box. So they listed lidocaine, and I circled it and checked it off, and I wrote down that I was not allergic to lidocaine, but I was allergic to lidocaine with epinephrine. Now, this is very common. It's common to the point that most dentists and oral surgeons keep lidocaine without epinephrine in stock, because many people swell up when they have lidocaine without epinephrine, or with epinephrine, but don't swell up when they have lidocaine without epinephrine. So saying you're allergic to lidocaine with epinephrine, but not lidocaine without epinephrine is like pretty normal. So I checked it off and wrote a description in the box explaining that I had checked off I was allergic to lidocaine, but specifically was only allergic to the kind with epinephrine. They asked about antibiotics, they asked about certain metals, and another thing on the list was codeine. So I circled it, checked it off, and I wrote down, I am not allergic to codeine, but I am allergic to tylenol that is commonly prescribed mixed with codeine. Dentists generally give me codeine without tylenol. So the dentist came in, he did his exam, he told me he couldn't pull the tooth that day, and said he could schedule an appointment on Thursday. And then he said, I'd like you to be on antibiotics for a few days before the extraction. And I think that you're in really bad pain. I'd like to prescribe you some pain medication. And right as he was saying that, he picked up that form and looked at it. And he said, oh, you circled codeine. You're allergic to codeine? What do you take when you have dental pain? And I said, I am not allergic to codeine. I am allergic to the tylenol that is commonly mixed with codeine in a medication called tylenol 3, which is a combination of tylenol and codeine. Generally, when I have dental pain, dentists prescribe codeine without tylenol. And then the dentist said, okay, well, here's your prescription for an antibiotic. And I am pretty sure that if I had not said I was allergic to Tylenol, he would have also said, and here's your prescription for Tylenol 3. So, after suffering with like horrible pain and attempting to take this antibiotic that I had to stop taking because it made me have like side effects, apparently I am not allergic to it, like not like breaking out in hives, but sensitive to it. At least, I went back for the extraction, and they gave me lidocaine. I'm not sure if they gave me lidocaine without epinephrine. I had to warn them numerous times that I was allergic to latex, which is another thing I checked off on this list, and they eventually put like a sign saying latex allergy over the box of latex gloves so their staff would stop accidentally putting them on and trying to touch me. But they extracted the tooth, and I asked for the tooth as a souvenir. I was shocked when they handed me a tooth with a healthy root with a raw piece of my nerve sticking out of it. They didn't give me enough lidocaine, but after they injected me over and over and over, I just said, just pull it. I don't even care if it hurts at this point. I just wanted to be out of there. And then, here's the kicker that you have already heard about. The dentist says, and here is a prescription for a pain medication for you. He handed it to me, I looked at it, and it said Tylenol 3. And I said, excuse me, I cannot take Tylenol 3. This is a mixture of codeine, which I can take, and Tylenol, which I am allergic to. I need you to prescribe codeine without Tylenol. And then the doctor, the dentist, the oral surgeon, whatever the heck you want to call him, I am sorry, I'm just pretty upset about this. He says, codeine without Tylenol, I can't prescribe that. If you want that, you're going to need to get it from your primary care physician. Now, mind you, I don't have one of those, and if I did, the physician would be in Humboldt County, California, and I am like in Los Angeles. And by the way, normally when you have oral surgery, they prescribe pain medication afterwards. So at this point, I should have said, excuse me, if you give me codeine with Tylenol, you will be giving me nothing because I won't take it. And I should have demanded that they give me the codeine by itself. But I was like almost incoherent from pain, and he scared me. He scared me. He made me have a panic attack when he started getting angry. So I filled the prescription, which I should not have done. I should not have gone to the pharmacy and gotten this because I can't take it. I got it thinking like, while I was not in my right mind, that if I was in so much pain, I would risk an allergic reaction by taking it, but I haven't taken a single pill. And after like 2 days of not taking it, I just kept looking at it, and I said I cannot bring myself to take this because I might end up in the hospital. I called them, and I was hysterical. And I called them numerous times. I called their emergency line, and finally they called me back. And at this point, I explained that I had not taken one single pill, and that if they did not give me Tylenol, I mean, if they, I'm sorry, I'm so just out of it. I haven't actually taken one of these today, and I'll tell you why later. I got a little bit too drowsy when I drank some chamomile tea and then took one of these. The combination was bad. But I explained to them that I could not take Tylenol, and I had not taken one of these codeine Tylenol pills. And if they did not prescribe codeine without Tylenol, I would be taking nothing and recovering from this tooth extraction while suffering through excruciating pain while taking nothing. At this point, they finally realized that I was serious when I said I was allergic to Tylenol. That I wasn't saying it because, see, drug addicts will say they're allergic to Tylenol to get like narcotics in a form that they can like melt down on spoons and inject with needles. So at this point, they realized that I was actually serious and I was not going to take these pills. So then, first the oral surgeon told me that it might be illegal to prescribe codeine by itself, and I said, "Are you kidding me? No way." My gynecologist used to prescribe me that for severe menstrual cramps. So then he said he would check to see if it was illegal and get back to me. So then he said that only one pharmacy in Los Angeles could get it, and it was this Walgreens that was like quite a long bus ride from my hotel. Well, the one I was staying at, it was like a 30-minute bus ride from that hotel, and it's like an hour and a half bus ride from this hotel. So he said that he would send the prescription to the pharmacy. And then the pharmacy called me and said they had it. And then I went to the pharmacy. And then the pharmacist said, the medication that the oral surgeon prescribed for you is a very, very uncommon one, and we have to special order it, but we could substitute it for this. And he started pulling out, believe it or not, a bottle of codeine Tylenol. So then I broke down crying, and I said, I already have one of those bottles. I have had it for 3 days, and I have not taken a single pill. They prescribed me the codeine without the Tylenol because I am allergic to Tylenol. I am recovering from oral surgery. I am in excruciating pain. If you do not give me the codeine by itself, I will be taking nothing. The pharmacist looked a little bit shocked, and then he realized that the same thing I just said, that I was not like somebody who wanted to do drugs, but somebody who really needed pain medication after surgery. At that point, the thing is when they actually ordered it, and then they called me repeatedly and told me it was there, and I took these long bus rides there and found it wasn't. Finally, they gave it to me, and at that point, I was like almost an incoherent person. I was like barely able to speak. Somebody asked me how I was doing, and I said, doing? I'm not doing. I'm being nothing but able to feel pain or something just so incoherent that the person probably thought I was crazy. And why did they do this to me? They did this to me because they were so hell-bent on preventing people from shooting up drugs, I guess, that they know that you cannot inject a mixture of Tylenol and codeine, but you can inject codeine by itself. But it gets worse because before they gave me this, they offered me something else. They offered me another narcotic that is very, very, very much stronger than codeine. It may be almost as strong as heroin, but the one thing it has in common with a mixture of codeine and acetaminophen or Tylenol is that you can't inject it. They offered me OxyContin. OxyContin. If you try to melt it down and inject it, it could kill you. They offered me OxyContin before they were willing to give me codeine. But if you think that this story is bad enough already, let's check out these bottles. One is 30 milligrams of codeine mixed with Tylenol. The other one is 30 milligrams of codeine by itself. The mixture of Tylenol and codeine, which is two different painkillers says take every 4 to 6 hours as needed for severe pain. And there's 20 pills, which I haven't taken any of. The plain 30 milligrams of codeine, same dosage of codeine as in the other bottle, says take 1 tablet by mouth every 6 hours as needed. Not every 4 to 6 hours, every 6 hours. So this is technically weaker because it's 1 pain medication, and this is 2 pain medications, but they directed me to take this every 4 to 6 hours and every 6 hours. The reason that this is bad is if I needed to take this every 4 hours, then I could be accused of using up my pills too fast, and if I asked for more, they could calculate the amount of hours that had gone by and how many pills I'd used and accuse me of something called drug-seeking behavior, which is where you ask doctors for pills, take more than the prescription says to take, and then ask for more in like too short of a period of time. When the gynecologist used to give me these for my period, she had to specify that the pharmacy write on the label that I could take them every 4 to 6 hours, not every 6, because they generally come in a bottle that says every 6 hours. Like, these are just like the generic labels for the bottles. I do not think the oral surgeon did this on purpose. I'm pretty sure that if you just like hit a button to order these, this one comes out saying this and this one comes out saying this. But, you know, doctors should know about like what I'm telling you. And also this one generally comes with 20 pills and this one generally comes with 12. I mean, they used to give me this exact same bottle when I had my period, but the gynecologist would make them write 4 to 6, and they had to print the label saying that just so I wouldn't get in trouble if I needed to take it every 4 hours, not every 6. And so let's look up close though. I'm going to get closer. This one says may cause drowsiness and dizziness. Alcohol and marijuana may intensify this effect. Use care when operating a vehicle, vessel, boat, or machinery. It also says consult your pharmacist before breastfeeding, and that if there's a risk of overdose, that you should ask your healthcare professional if you should have Naxalone on hand. That's an interesting warning. This one says they cut off the tops of the labels. Something recommended may cause serious breathing problems. Checking with your doctor or pharmacist. Wait for it. Tells you what it says on the pills, and this is the worst one because they cut off the top of this one too. Drink alcohol with this drug. Use care when operating a vehicle, vessel, or other machines. I'm sorry, but they cut off the part that says do not or is not recommended to or whatever. They sent this to me like this, gave it to me like this. This is from, what pharmacy is it? Walgreens. Walgreens printed out my my controlled substance that they took like 4 days to get from me with a label that says drink alcohol with this drug. Okay? So I want to say one more thing before I end this video. And what I want to say is, hey, oral surgeons and dentists and doctors, if somebody says they want a narcotic without Tylenol, please do not do surgery on them and then spring it on them that you're going to give them the narcotic with Tylenol or nothing. If he had said, you know, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes people who ask for narcotics without Tylenol are like addicts. I don't really want to prescribe this to someone who might be an addict. Are you really allergic to Tylenol? Or I just won't prescribe it for you or whatever. I would have run screaming out of that office. We paid like $1,000 out of pocket for this oral Like, I'm not sure exactly like what they thought. I'm not sure if they like saw my dreadlocks and I'm not sure what this like speck of dirt is here, but it's irritating me, so I'm getting rid of it. I'm not sure if they thought that because I was dreadlocked and smoked marijuana that I was gonna like, abuse this drug. But as I said, they used to give me like this exact same bottle with a slightly different label for menstrual cramps caused by like ovarian cysts that were very severe, and they would actually give me like stronger things too. One of my gynecologists would give me like two not Oxycontin but oxycodone pills a month, and one of them even would give me like one or two morphine pills a month. I'm not going to like abuse this drug. I didn't even take any today because there is another warning they should put in this, and it says it should say don't drink chamomile tea with this. I drank some chamomile tea when I accidentally ordered it at a Mexican restaurant because I didn't realize that manzanilla meant chamomile in Spanish. I'm very sensitive to chamomile. It makes me very, very drowsy. And the combination of the chamomile and this made me sleep for like 14 hours and like wake up like panicking. They should warn you to, avoid like sedatives with this drug that can cause drowsiness. I didn't mean to mix this with chamomile and accidentally make myself too drowsy. But anyway, I am showing you this because, like, they should have asked me. When they started getting nervous, when I said I was allergic to Tylenol, they should have asked me. They should not have done surgery and then screwed me and left me in a condition where I was in like the most horrific pain I've been in my entire life and was unable to take the pills they prescribed. And they also should have known that it needed to be special ordered, and they also should have called the pharmacist and said, don't substitute it for codeine Tylenol. She really needs the plain codeine. They did a lot of things wrong. And then it gets even worse though. I have been living off of like the soup and like porridge and like tea diet. And the first time I tried to eat food, I tried to eat some street tacos like the day before yesterday, I think. And the stitches the dentist sewed in where he extracted my tooth like dramatically came out. They were like hanging out of my mouth and down my throat, gagging me. Some piece of gauze they sewed in there, they said would dissolve, came out, and it cost like hundreds of dollars more just for the privilege of having it stitched up. And then I called them on the phone at that same emergency line, and no one has answered or called me back. At this point, I would like to give the oral surgeon an awful review. I'm just like totally horrified. Luckily, there might be hope. I have this room booked for 2 more days, and a lady staying at this hotel recommended her dentist to me, and she told me that he is one of the only dentists in California that gives patients nitrous oxide. So I hope that I will be going to the nitrous dentist in the next 2 days, because after that, I potentially might have a Greyhound bus, which will be a 20-hour bus ride back to Humboldt County. And with that said, I'm going to end this video.